What is up everyone, how are you guys doing? My name is Peedy and in today's video I will be covering 5 tips to help you improve at League of Legends as a beginner. Before we begin, if you guys are interested in League of Legends and you want to see more guides, patch rundowns, skin spotlights and much more, please consider subscribing to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps to keep this channel growing so I can make more awesome videos just for you guys. The first major goal is to reach 100 subscribers and I'm halfway there already, and it would be really cool if we could reach that goal together. Thank you all so much, but let's get right into this guide. The first tip I have for you guys is to unlock your camera. I see way too many people still play with this option, and I know why they do it, because it's easier and especially for beginners it gives you one less thing to worry about, but in the end playing with locked camera will set you back a lot. As you can see now, the camera is locked, so every time I move, my champion will be centered in the screen. Why is this not good? Well, if you stay in this position, for example, we can only see a limited amount of space. While if we unlock it, we can tilt the camera and we have way more vision. We can see the entire lane. We can see if we're getting ganked from here, and from here. Another thing is, if we want to see what's going on across the map, for example, something is happening in mid lane, or something is happening at the Dragon Pit, or wherever else, we can now do this. Well, if we lock the camera, as you can see, nothing happens. I can't really do that. It will always be locked to my character. To unlock the camera, there is two options. Either you press the Y button on your keyboard, which will unlock it. The other option is right next to your minimap, there is this little icon here with camera settings. Click to unlock camera. If you click here, it will unlock the camera for you. One thing you can do, if you want to lock your camera sometimes, you can press the spacebar. So every time you press the spacebar, it will lock the camera. You can see this little arrow above your head of your champion. As soon as you let go, it will unlock. A lot of people do that. I do that myself because it can be pretty difficult sometimes to keep an eye on your champion and to know in a team fight where you are. You just lock your camera with spacebar. This will take some getting used to. If you're used to playing with locked camera and all of a sudden you have to move your camera around, making these little movements, you know, it will take a little bit of getting used to, but in the end it will make you a lot better at the game, and I can only recommend to do this as fast as possible. The second tip is customizing your UI to your preference and to your liking. There's quite a lot of settings you can change, and some of these will make quite a big difference to your gameplay. Let's get into the settings. First of all, you go to Options, Interface. The first setting I would change is the HUD scale. Standard is 100. As you can see, it's very big. It just takes away from your screen real estate and what you can see. I personally have it on 54. Might be an odd number. The only reason is because this fits really well with my cam when I'm streaming and my overall streaming overlay. You can make it all the way down to 0, which makes it very small. If you can play like this, it's all good. You can see a lot more of the screen. So make it as small as you can possibly can for you to still be able to see things. I will put mine back to 54. You can change the cursor scale if you somehow lose your cursor in fights. I mean, it can happen. Minimap scale, definitely leave that on 100 because you want it as big as possible. The minimap is really important. You have to check it as much as possible to see if you're getting ganked, what's going on in the map. Don't just focus on your own champion. Focus on everything that's going on. Two other options I would definitely change in the settings is show spell costs and the ability cooldown display. If show spell costs is enabled, you will see on your hotbar how much mana a certain skill costs. For example, my Q, as you can see, is 85, my W 40, my E 70, and my ult is 100. If I turn that off, I am not able to see how much mana it costs. That can be really helpful to see, because let's say I have 100 mana on Ahri and I want to cast an E and a Q, I will not be able to do it, because as you can see, it's 70 plus 85 is 155, quick math. But if you can see it, you can always do a little bit of a calculation and you can know if you're able to cast a certain spell. You can know how much mana do I need to cast something. Let's say you're completely out of mana, you have like 50 mana left and you're running away. You can now see, oh, if only I can reach 70, I can do another E. And you don't just have to brainlessly spam your E until it hopefully has enough mana to cast. So that's very important to know. The other thing I would absolutely enable is the ability cooldown display. I set mine to seconds. Let's say you disable it. Let's say now I cast my ultimate and you take a look at my hotbar. You cannot see what the cooldown is. It only ticks down a little bit with the desaturation, but you can't really tell how much time is left. If you enable it though, I set mine to seconds, you can now see my ultimate has a 55-second cooldown remaining. The third tip I have for you is to disable the auto attack option. By default, this is enabled and this is not a good thing. Right now I have it disabled. As you can see, I can walk up to the training dummy, I can stand still, nothing will happen. I will not auto attack unless I actually click on it or I use the attack move to auto attack. By default, the option is actually enabled. Let me show you what it does. Now, I will always auto attack if something is in my auto attack range without me clicking it. This is a bad thing and you should disable this. There are multiple reasons why you want to disable it. For example, it will make you push the wave. If you stand in a brush and you try to be sneaky and someone runs into your range, you will start auto-attacking. There is a number of other reasons, but you generally just do not want that. You want to decide yourself when to auto-attack and when not to auto-attack. So absolutely make sure to disable that one. The fourth tip I have for you guys is to use certain keybinds. And two things instantly come to mind. The first one is use your area as warded ping, which by default is not bound. So let's say in this brush there is a ward, you can then tell your team or your jungler, for example, that there is a ward in that brush. The enemy has vision there, area is warded. Let's go into the options and to see where that is, you go to Hotkeys, scroll down, it's under communication, and there is an option called area is warded ping. I set this to Shift T and Shift V, but obviously you can put this to any key combination you want. It's not bound by default, and I have no idea why Riot would do that because it's such a handy little ping. Absolutely make sure to ward it. It will be really good for your jungler so they know that they don't have to gank. It will be good for your team if they come to gank, or just to signal to someone with a sweeping lens that there is a ward there so we can clear the vision. The second one that in my opinion is very important is to use the keybind to level up your spells. So let's get a level in the spells here. As you can see, you have the option to just click this little arrow here and it will level up. Way faster and way better would be to use a keybind for this. Specifically, mine is set up to control and then the button. So in this case, for example, Control Q, Control W, it will level them up. This works way faster. You can you don't have to hover your mouse over it. You can just do whatever you want. In the middle of the fight, you have a level up, crucial level up at the timing. You press Ctrl Q, bam, it's leveled up. It's going to save you a lot of time, and I really think you should incorporate that into your keybinds. I'm not actually sure if this is set by default, but if you want to change it, you can find it right here under the hotkeys, some of the spells and abilities, level up spell. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the fifth and last tip I have for you guys today is to use SmartCast, or QuickCast, how it's called nowadays. The standard setting is that you have to press your ability, then the indicator will come up and you have to press left mouse button to use the spell. So for example, this will happen with my Q. If I want to fire it, I then have to press left mouse button and it will shoot. There is a way quicker and an easier way to do it. It's to set up SmartCasting or QuickCasting, which means I have that enabled right now. I just hover my mouse where I want this spell to be cast, I press Q, and it instantly casts. You don't want to use this for every single ability. For example, for the Rumble ultimate, you don't want to use it, but for like 9 out of 10 spells, this is the better way and the easier way to go. You go to your options, there is two things you can do. You can either click this button here, and it will say Quick Cast All, and it will instantly enable quick casting for everything. Or you can go into your hotkeys and you can set it up here under the quick cast. If you still want to be able to have the indicator sometimes because you want to see how far your spell reaches, I have set it up, for example, that if I hold down the shift key and then press the button, like now, I can still see the indicator where my spell is going to go. And if I don't want to shoot, if I don't want to use my ability, I just press right mouse button and I just walk away. So this can be very handy as well. Most of the time you want to get used to using SmartCast because it's going to shave off important milliseconds to your spell casts and it's going to make you faster to react, and most people use it. So I definitely absolutely would advise you to try it out at least. This brings us to the end of this video. I hope you found these tips helpful. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought about it. And please consider subscribing. It really helps me out a lot. Like I said, I want to keep this channel growing. I'm halfway through my goal to reach 100 subscribers. That's the first major goal. And you would help me out so much if you would help me with that. So please give me a subscribe and hit that bell to get notified for whenever I upload in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had fun. I will see you in the next video. I love you all. Bye bye.